Razaban for FightHype.com.
Razaban.
I'm with my man, Johnny Nelson. What's happening, Johnny?
I'm all good. It's nice to be here in central London again. I'm actually looking forward to this fight with Dereck Chisora and Dillian Whyte. I think it's these two are actually very, very similar. You've just got a younger version and an older version of each other. I think it can be it's boiling, and these guys are holding it down, and this is a different kind of tension. So this is why they've got to be smart, just trying to be cautious about this, because I think there's the respect there between the two of them, but it's bragging rights as well. So this is going to be, to me, a crime. I can imagine Anthony Joshua in his dressing room wanting to watch this fight instead of concentrating on his own. So this is one of those where you've got to keep your eye on the ball.
We have anti-climax. Dereck Chisora, cool, calm, collective today.
Not at all. Not at all. Well, for us, hoping there's going to be a bit of drama, but he knows that, and he's probably he knows Dillian's probably expecting that, and Dillian was probably expecting that from him. This ain't done yet. We got to film the gloves are off in a bit. You know I can cause trouble. So I'll ask questions that they doesn't want to ask, and it's a case of how they deal with it.
Yeah. Obviously, Dillian was trying to get under his skin, trying to talk about his ex-girlfriends, the people that he's beaten up, apparently. So
yeah, and Dereck was prepared for that, and that's why he's tried to hold it down. Dereck was prepared for that. But it's a case of when it's one-on-one, two guys sat opposite across the table, and you're talking about these things, and all you can do is answer them. That's when you have to actually take your mind to that situation, and so that's why it'd be very different. At this moment in time, these guys are sat in a press conference. You can, bat away little lines like that. But we'll see. We'll see when these guys get up close and personal.
So obviously, you've got Dillian Whyte, who had that loss to Anthony Joshua. He then signed with Matchroom, had a few victories. He's trying to get that rematch again with Anthony, and I think that's his goal. You got Dereck Chisora on the other hand.
His first stoppage was against David Haye, came through, he lost to Hilleness, and he's been on world fringe. He's probably been, he's a few years down the line, more fight worn than Dillian is, but he has the experience. Now it's about desire. I think the desire will be there for both fighters because they'll not want to lose to him. That's what it'll be. And that's the difference in this. We'll not see a Dereck Chisora that's mind's just not on it. He's not interested. We'll not see that. I think he'll be completely focused. And the same with Dillian. It's bragging rights, and their careers on the on the line here because they know the loser. Where's it go? What happens to the loser? And that's most important.
As of right now, from what we've seen so far from both individuals, from social media to the press conference today, before we get to the studio later on today, who's favourite in that fight, Johnny?
Personally, I think Dillian's a favourite because he's a fresher, younger version. I think he's a younger, fresh version of Dereck. That's my honest opinion, and that's I have not seen anything yet that changes that. And so therefore I would side with Dillian Whyte so far in regards to who I think will come out top.
Johnny, I want to go back today. Yesterday we had a press conference with Dillian Whyte and Dereck Chisora. Quite a medium calm atmosphere, everyone was expecting fireworks. Then later on in the evening we hear that after they're behind the ropes, it exploded. Are you able to tell us?
The gloves are off. It was the gloves off we were filming. Listen, you've got two alpha males that are very familiar in character, so when that happens, they're going to blow up once they actually sat there face to face. All I can say is it got very verbal. All I can say is it was contained, and now we know what to expect. This is for real. This ain't MMA. You can't play boxing. This is for real. Now we've done 3 gloves are off that I thought, wow, that's just. There's 3 types of heat. There's hot, there's red hot, and there's white hot. This was white hot, and so now God willing, that the fight goes on, because you never know, one fighter might have been intimidated by what happened, because it gets verbal. Otherwise, it's going to be one of those fights where Anthony Joshua sat in his dressing room getting ready to fight, and he even wants to watch the fight, and I think it's a potential